VOV 91.3. Voices of Voiceless, we in the house. I'm Nate Peter Ghost, Barak King X, Kunta Kinte, 1 foot off.
Same Mike, Michael J. Thriller, Mike Talk a Lot, Ego Spiritual, Beautiful Mind, Jesus Crack, Mike Camera Action in the building.
What's going on? VOV, Voice of the Voiceless, it's your man Keefe, Laporte, a.k.a. Sir Lord Kees the Thor, a.k.a. Kees the Life, the one-man team.
And I'm Trooper Joe, and I'm here to keep it real for you.
Tune in to Voice of the Voiceless every Tuesday, 12 to 1.
Alright. That's it?
That's it.
Sometimes, you know, and they just come, and they're very polite, I give them that, you know, they say trick or treat.
But 300, that's a lot of kids. Do you have enough candy for all of them?
Yeah.
Wow. Did you give like one piece of candy in each bag?
No, I told them to take some. I had like 4 or 5 big old giant bags of candy. It went through it all. I did put away some M&M peanut butter ones.
Trooper Joe, causing diabetes one holiday at a time.
One at a time. Everybody gonna get some diabetes.
What side are you on? I thought you liked the candy. What are you talking about, Trooper Joe causing diabetes?
I love candy, but I have diabetes.
Exactly.
And like when the kids came home with their candy, I tried to raid them, and it was a fight. My wife had to make sure I didn't take any because I had to keep stabbing myself with them needles for that insulin. Having diabetes is not easy.
Crazy. Yeah, it is. Yeah, shouts out to everyone with diabetes, you know. Hopefully you treat it right. And shouts out for the kids who had fun, you know, who had a bunch of candy yesterday.
They had fun. I thought they had fun.
Yeah. That was cool. I know yesterday.
It was cold out there.
I went to a Halloween party. It wasn't even a Halloween party. It was my uncle's 60th birthday party Saturday, which was like a Halloween theme. We didn't get dressed up or anything, but I guess that's what it is. So for kids, you go trick-or-treating. For adults, you go out and party. So happy Halloween Eve, you know, All Saints Eve. I know today is what, Saints Day?
Yeah,
Tomorrow
All Saints Day.
Tomorrow's All Spirits or Souls Day. And
All Souls Day.
Yeah,
we talked about that.
So pay your respects to whoever you got to pay respects to. Respect. That's a big one in itself. But I know, what is it? You said election time, and then none of the debates were anybody talking about any of the questions that was on the debates. I'm talking about question 1 through 4. None of the candidates were talking about how they're going to anything help America, and it seems a lot about hurting America more during their debates, because you know I think you have one. Trump side is trying to form an alliance with Russia, and then you got Hillary's side who already has a relationship with the Middle East, you know, so you're talking about the lesser of two evils regardless of how you look at it, or just put in an empty ballot, you know?
I don't know. I'm having a hard time with trying to figure out who's the worst candidate, because
who's the worst? Which it's like they battling for who's the worst.
I'm figuring that this is the last real stupid kind of presidential campaign I think we're going to see, because I think a lot of the kids that they were targeting on the Democratic side, they're to graduate college next year, you know, 4 years from now. And a lot of the elderly people that were heavily into the just voting Republic thing, I don't think they'll die, but some of them will. So I think this will be the last real stupid kind of thing, because either one of these people that get in, they're going to mess up big time. As far as I can see, they ain't got a platform. They don't have an agenda. All they're doing is playing a game between each other.
Troop, I couldn't disagree with you more. This is going to continue. Because,
go ahead.
Okay, so when Kennedy ran for president, right, John F. Kennedy, it was the age of television.
Yeah.
When Obama ran for presidency, it was the age of social media.
Yeah.
Now it's the age of reality shows. So everything that happens now is a reality show, like that FBI director Comey, who just out of nowhere said they're going to reopen the investigation, hurting Hillary Clinton's chance to become president. This stuff is going to happen constantly because we live in a world now, today, where we are addicted to media. So all that stuff is going to come on our phones, everything about a person. It's harder to hide the things you do now, because everything you do now is on a cell phone or can be traced back, and that's going to affect every candidate even in the future.
I agree. This is a totally different new age from the ones that we left behind. And really that's what I'm saying, is that because it is a new age, and because what's going to change in that age though is going to be the kids. Like I said, the kids are going to graduate school in 4 years. They'll graduate college. They'll find out that, yeah, you had a nice protesting 4 years of college and you jerked around and played around, had a good time running and doing your protesting, and now you got your little college degree, but you can't find a job because that job does not exist anymore. The world passed you by because we got two knuckleheads in to choose from 4 years prior to that for the presidency. Neither one of them had anybody's self-interest at heart except their own.
And that's crazy. So, like, I guess let's dive into this for the next 5 minutes. Is politics. So now we have a presidential candidate, a presidential race about to happen. When's the election?
Next week.
Next week, we're voting for the president, right? And this is my topic that I wanted to talk about was the poverty pimping, because
Wait, you went all over the place. You lost me.
No, we're going to talk about politics. But I've been racing my brain because, you know, I myself I'm in a little situation. So I've been racing my brain on trying to make sense of everything. You know, all the systems that are in place, or, you know, a lot of the stuff that's going on. And I was trying to put if it wasn't a word, a term to what was really going on. Like, I'm going to the courthouse, I'm seeing how all the poor people are on one side, all the people who do have some type of money look and are, you know, on the division line, you know, and how the judges demand a lot from people who they know don't have, you know, and how you have just this big division line in the court systems, educational systems, public educational systems. You have this big division line of who gets it and who doesn't get it, and if there's enough time to help the bottom, well, it's automatically assumed that there isn't enough time to help the bottom of the barrel when it comes to public education. And then you go to healthcare, which is, I think, is kind of unique because in Massachusetts we've been able to adopt the universal healthcare. Now, I don't hear none of these candidates talking about any of these platforms when it comes to education, when it comes to healthcare, or when it comes to judicial. But we're talking about international affairs at a presidential debate. So it was crazy. So that's where, like I said, I ended up coming up with the term poverty pimping, because I wanted to discuss it amongst each other, and we'll talk about it after the fact. But let's open up to. So I'm not going to say who I'm voting for, because I think I'm going to put in an empty ballot. I think I'm actually just going to vote for the question, and you know, if there's an undecided, put undecided, or just throw it in an empty, and probably, you know, somebody else will fill it out for me later on down the line, whoever needs to win. But what do you think then? What do you think? So it's been a race for the worst. Who can put on the worst show? Who do you think you're hopeful for? Like, do you think hopeful? Do you think that both of them are going to mess up? Who do you think is going to correct their mistakes? You know. I think I'm actually just.
I'll tell you the truth. I think, okay, I'll go first. I'll say about Donald Trump.
Trump time.
Donald Trump is a narcissistic kind of sociopath in a sense. Donald Trump really doesn't care anything about anybody but Donald Trump. Donald Trump was the most shocked person in the world when he got to win the primary. He didn't think he was going to win.
Yeah.
You know, so Donald Trump, like I said, he doesn't have the issues, and he doesn't really, at this point in time, he might be showing a little bit of ground towards changing and stuff, but I don't think the presidency should be a place where you get educated in how to be a politician and how to be a president.
Or how the government works, right?
How the government, yeah, I really don't think so. So he for me really doesn't have any expertise, and I don't think 4 years is enough for him to change his ways. I think through him we're going to be, especially poor people, they're going to really get beat down.
Right. So now, if Trump gets in, the poor people, it's a wrap for him.
Yeah. Now, quickly with Hillary, I think Hillary's a gangster. I always thought she was a gangster.
Do you like gangsters?
Yeah, I like gangsters, and I love everybody.
Yeah,
but I think Hillary's a gangster, and I think Hillary's somebody's out for Hillary herself. And I think that her platform, even when it's out there, is old time. Hillary's 30 years ago. You know, yeah. Hillary hasn't been my opinion. she hasn't moved up in the world.
Nah.
And she's, because of her gangsterish nature,
She feel like she doesn't have to.
yeah, exactly. She thinks that whatever she wants to do is the right thing to do, irregardless of what the rest of the world's doing. Because I'm Hillary, and that's what we're going to do. So I think she talks the same old talk and everything, and trying to feed the words to the people that they want to hear.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't think, and with Hillary too, I think the poor people are going to suffer. I think poor
so
people and middle class people are really going to take a hit.
The brunt of all this.
Yeah, no matter which one of those two get in there.
Yeah,
and they're not going to say that they're going to give you a hit. It's just going to happen.
Are you done, True? Are you done? Oh, what you think?
Okay, so the terrible part about it is that we have Hillary, who when we talk about what you said earlier about Trump, he's going to really beat on the poor.
Yeah.
We've just endured 8 years of a Democrat beating on the poor. I mean, the poor, there's the unemployment rate, people are poor still. I haven't seen this silver lining that Barack Obama has given us. Hope for Hillary Clinton, who's going to be essentially the same thing, except for much worse as a president than Obama. So I don't have faith in Democrats. I don't have faith in Republicans. I don't have faith in either of them anymore. And it used to be different.
You know, with the Obama administration and stuff like that, I think Obama's hands were tied a lot, because if he said black, Republicans who control the thing said white. If he said blue, Republicans said red. You know, it made absolutely no difference.
It was opposing regardless.
Yeah, if he said on Thanksgiving everybody should have turkey and stuff, Republicans say no, they should all have duck. You know, it was like, whatever was put out there, there was an automatic negative response to it from the Republicans, and I thought we shouldn't have let that happen. As the people of the United States, we should have never let that kind of politics go on. It had nothing to do with people. It only had to do with the two top tiers in our political system, in our Constitution, having little silly wars between each other. It's dumb.
Yeah, very. So, any final thoughts on I guess, pre-week election, pre-week presidential politic talks? Any final thoughts?
My final thought is, no matter what, if you are like me and you don't want to vote for either of the presidents, still go out and vote. There's the questions on the charter schools, questions on weeds, questions on animals, farming, the way they're being treated. There's a lot of questions. Casinos. There's a lot of things that your voice still needs to be heard on, even the presidency. So even though I feel like I might be discouraging people to vote, still go out and vote of the lesser of two evils. Figure out which one you're really willing to roll with, because you have a responsibility. People, there's a picture on Facebook being shared of a black man getting kicked in the face by a mob of white people, all because he was going to vote. And that's when voting laws towards black were given to blacks, and he literally got beaten up on his way to cast his vote.
Yeah.
He still voted.
Yeah.
So just because you feel discouraged, I still say get out and vote.
Yeah, I'm right there with Will. I think everybody should cast their vote, and it's like, I think everybody should try to educate themselves on the candidate they want to vote for, or on the candidate that they don't want to vote for. Who's the best of the worst? But there are issues out there that need to be, I think, really not even, I don't know what they're doing on there. For me, legalizing marijuana, wrong.
Well, no, that needs to be up there. I think that needs to be up there because it advances science. It advances science, and it goes back to, I think, what Obama was talking about. It's not about what's legal and illegal as far as substance abuse. It's about its lethal dosage. It's about setting regulations about dosaging of that drug, because whether it's, to be truthful, legal drugs are making more money than illegal drugs in America right now.
It ain't about money. The youth of this world is dying in big numbers.
The youth
The youth.
are dying in this world
In big
of
numbers in this United States of America over it ain't marijuana, it's over the opiates and prescription drugs and everything. But so what do we do for that? Let's legalize marijuana. It's like that doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know if youth are
It doesn't
dying
make sense
because of
for me.
marijuana though.
It doesn't. What doesn't make sense to me is why are we going to get a whole population of and a whole generation of people high? Come on.
Why give?
Because
Why,
it's what you call now. Times have changed. Everybody's smoking marijuana anyway. So let's adapt to the times instead of having the times adapt to us. And you know what I mean? Like it's 2016 now, and I understand you came up in a time where, like, you know, the bad man and the good man, and you know,
I ain't
the,
about man. I'm about why
what's right and
you
wrong.
want to legalize. Hey everybody, let's get high. Let's sit out in the park.
That's not what it's
smoke
saying.
a bone. What does marijuana do for you?
I don't know.
What
Right
do you
now,
mean I don't know? Come on,
right
say
now,
the
what's
truth.
listed, what marijuana does, is over 1,000 something things right now.
Look
Listed.
here, what do you smoke marijuana for?
What it does good for you?
Just answer
What it
the
does good for
question.
you?
What are you smoking for?
Anxiety. Anxiety.
You're smoking to get high.
PTSD.
Come on.
PTSD.
Come on.
No, there's real symptoms behind them. What are you talking about?
I don't care if there's real symptoms. I asked what are people smoking that marijuana for. They're smoking it to get high. Let's do a bone, sit out here and chill.
You're
Come on.
administering any drug to get high. I don't get it. We got to call it though. So,
Talk to the caller.
yeah, what's going on?
Come on with that. I know anxiety and stuff. That's why everybody got
Yeah,
anxiety
you want me to
because the
put you on
price of
there?
marijuana went up.
while we're taking a call, shout out to Charles Lester, Melissa Watson, and everybody else who joined Voice of the Voices on the official Facebook Live. Melissa Watson is looking for donations for her event to help feed the homeless. So please be listening. We will be plugging that as well. She's going to be having a dinner at 1,000 Watts Barbershop.
We need to interview her too.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do an interview with her soon.
That'll be
about it.
Archangel's interview.
Yeah, Archangels. But in the meantime, just
Hosted
if you have any food that you want to donate, you can call into Voice of the Voiceless, and we can maybe arrange a way to get the food to Missy because she's going to be feeding the homeless.
Interesting, but that just.
Don't have a conversation.
Also,
I can't have a
on
conversation
the
with you right now unless you want to come on there.
Also, Melissa said
right.
it helps with
Thanks a lot.
anxiety,
All right,
depression, pain, and cancer. But true,
Bomb.
one thing you were saying is that I kind of agree with is
I got
weed
the
is
cameras on
addictive. Yeah, weed is addictive.
Yeah.
So
Anything's
do we-
addictive,
well,
man.
but okay, if everything's addicted, do we want to make it easier for people who are addicted to opioids to become addicted to something else? That's one thing. to
Easier
consider.
for people who are addicted to opioids to be addicted to something else. Well, I don't get it.
Okay, so people who are high on weed, right? That this is what some people say, that people who are high on weed sometimes can't function in the way they want to function every day.
Cause they're high. Come on, man. Why everybody?
Yo, Steve Jobs did smoke marijuana. Steve Jobs smoked marijuana, held conference meetings, board meetings, made decisions.
Not everybody's
What are you
Steve Jobs.
saying?
There's only
And that's
one
what I'm saying,
Steve
Not
Jobs.
everybody is the person you're talking
So you got to
about.
go with the majority, and the majority of people,
You don't
who
even
get
know
high
because it's
Yeah.
illegal. So
No.
you don't know. You have people who smoke and don't want you to know because you know why?
We just
There's
went-
a stereotype around it, man.
We just went through a
Right.
whole. We went through a whole decade, 2 decades of people who were high on weed. In the 90s,
2
it was
decades.
popular. It was the 90s. Snoop. I mean, we where the culture was influenced by people getting
It's not like
high
because it's not
every day.
like alcohol. You feel me? At one time, alcohol was marijuana. So now, don't nobody talk about alcohol because it's legalized. You understand? You have an implicit bias now, just like True, on this it being a illegal bad substance that is either a gateway drug or it's affiliated with something, and it's just read about it. It's not.
Look at alcohol. I just say
Alcohol is more of a gateway drug.
I just say this real soft and everything, so everybody can have alcohol. DW. What is it?
DWI.
Yeah. There's a
Driving while
lot. Yeah.
intoxicated.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't eat. Yeah, that's everybody knows alcohol is impairing and stuff like that. So that's for adults. Okay, we will legalize alcohol. They tried to de-legalize alcohol. They saw what happened with that. I mean, don't give it. Me, it's like don't give marijuana a chance to get into the system to where it's because something a normal type of state of affairs. Then you'll have driving while high and stuff. You know.
Yeah. All right. Well,
because it makes you high. I don't see what else. We ain't gonna make any rope out of it. You know, it's gonna make you high. That's what.
Driving under the influence is still going to be a law, even if they legalize weed.
Yeah.
So legalizing weed won't absolve people from being from doing things while they're under the influence.
No, it won't. I'm just saying.
I don't even get this.
Why take a drug you know that has one purpose? I don't care. It got an offshoot of that one purpose. You can use it for other things, to mind-altering things to calm you down, but it makes you high. Come on, that's what it does. That's why people smoke it. Ain't nobody smoking marijuana so that let me smoke marijuana. And I have no reason. Nah, I'm a chill out.
Let me smoke marijuana so I can get my day going. Let me
What's
smoke
wrong with getting
marijuana
high?
So I can.
What's wrong with getting high?
Yo, he don't know.
Same like J Thriller.
Against it.
I'm asking a critical thinking question. What's wrong with getting high?
I'm talking about getting high with them little kids. The little kids gonna have access to it.
What's wrong with little kids getting high?
What's wrong with little kids getting high?
What's wrong with little kids getting high? It's called the educational system right here that we all complain about that ain't teaching our kids. Let's blow a bone on the way to school, little 4-year-old.
The answer to that is getting high is there's nothing wrong with getting high if you can be productive.
Yeah.
But getting high on weed, in many cases, goes against being productive while you're high. So that's one problem with getting high.
Yeah,
For me, same like J Thriller. For me, I made a personal decision because I can't manage myself when I get high. Like if I smoke bud, more often than not, I get a creative blast and then I don't do anything after that. Right?
Exactly.
So, but that takes me understanding not everybody's Mike, right? But furthermore, even if that was the case for everybody, it's not our business to legislate that, right? Because like legislating is not stopping that truism. That truism is that truth right now exists with with marijuana being illegal. So us saying we're going to continue more of the same is not fixing the problem, right? And so like if people are going to get high, if people are going to smoke bud, then you might as well make the best of a quote unquote bad situation.
Yeah, let's make everybody stupid. Let's make everybody sit down because they can't function. Makes a lot of sense to me.
I mean, but like how is keeping it illegal doing the opposite of what you just said?
They just can't have it. They got to go out and at least be sneaky.
Containing
No,
it's not.
illegal.
Because there's a reason why it's so valid because it can't be contained. There's a reason why like Denver and what was it, Washington place, that everybody across the world is saying, look, we want to smoke weed because
the reason why they want to do that, not because it can't be contained, but because you can make money off of it, and the government has a way of making money off it. Not necessarily. That's the only reason why it's becoming legal, because of money.
It's been legal.
If you think what do you mean? It's not. It hasn't been legal. It's because
no, it's not legal in California yet.
it's because of
medicinal.
right. It's legal in Colorado because of money.
And there's some stupid.
Not solely, but the cynical person could say it's because of money, and I would say yes. In America, everything boils down to money, but there are other benefits from legalizing it. For one, you don't put people in prison for marijuana, right?
Yes.
That's a huge monstrous reason on why you want to legalize marijuana. Nobody should be in prison for marijuana.
I don't want. Look at Nation of Max. You do some marijuana, I'm gonna kick your little behinds for you. You understand?
They just not gonna tell you.
You know what you should also do? You should also kick their behind for being in unloving relationships too. You know what's worse? You know what's worse for productivity? What's worse for productivity is you have marijuana, we say no, that makes people stupid and lazy, not doing anything. And you have people following the streamlined production line into loveless, ridiculous relationships, but nobody talks about that. You keep focusing on stuff that's not as important as what we should be talking about.
And that's what I wanted to reel this back into right now. It's a question on the ballot. You can vote yes or no, but I think you would keep this argument going forever. But it's like Democrat, Republican. It's like Obama and Congress. Because at the end of the day, reality is marijuana is already in states. States already have legalized it, meaning they're not following government protocol on holding it a controlled substance. It's used recreationally, and they had invested as a state into the legalization of marijuana. And then it's not no going backwards and saying that you should burn this stuff down. Let's go forward.
Standing now.
It is. It's over time to keep going with this. I don't want to go back and forth.
The end of the day, marijuana has one purpose for the people out there. It's a mind-altering thing. It's for getting high. They can vote any way they want to, but that's what it's for.
And I think every drug serves that same purpose.
Of course every drug is.
So let's talk about
coffee.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm going to have some coffee.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Coffee's a drug. Caffeine is a drug.
Caffeine, all that. Yeah, it all is the same thing. So it's a wide variety. I think we should research it.
All right, go on. What do you want?
Poverty pimping. So I think the public sector. It's the public sector, the private sector, anybody who wants to be a big business, any big businesses, anybody who dealing with the marginalized population. I think they're all poverty pimps.
They are poverty pimps, some of them.
Not some of them, no. If you going, and that's the crazy thing, because I guess you can't come on here without. So I got the definition of poverty pimp, so-called. It's crazy, right? There's a definition for it. I don't know. It says is a pejorative label. Pejorative, yeah. And pejorative means contempt or disapproval. It's used to convey that an individual or group is benefiting. This is what I need help with y'all from. Benefiting unduly by acting as an intermediate on behalf of the poor, the disadvantaged, or the victimized groups. So I don't understand what unduly by acting as an intermediate necessarily, you got to clear that up. But I was trying to point the finger on, at one point in time, I thought I was a victim of poverty pimping, but I want to open my own business. I want to, take advantage of all opportunities. So I'm like,
one of the biggest poverty pimps out there, a drug pusher, walks around your neighborhood.
Right out of my mind.
That's a poverty pimp. He's making big money selling drugs and trying to sell that it's a good thing. That's a poverty pimp.
I was actually going to say poverty pimp is redundant. Like it's monotonous. Like you can't have poverty without pimping. Like everybody is poverty pimping.
Yes.
Shout out to Bruce who said alcohol is legalized addiction.
Facts.
So you're saying it's redundant. You can't be in poverty without being the pimping part. So who's the biggest drug dealers? I think is the
pharmaceutical companies.
Pharmaceuticals are the biggest drug dealers. True. How come they don't go to jail?
The U.S. government is the biggest drug dealer.
How come they don't go to jail? Let me out there. I gotta, I just put them out and I'll shoot them all. What the hell?
They don't go to jail because it's white, because it's rich white people.
Yeah, I don't even care.
How long are we gonna keep saying this though? Like I feel like with all due respect, I feel like this is like your tagline. Like we already know this. This is when you say we don't want to go back and forth. This is a horse that we beat to death. Yeah, you keep going into like, well, how come they get to do it and we can't do it? We know why.
I would like to ask why. What about when we poverty pimp ourselves? And I'm not even talking about drugs. When you try to get something going with other black people, when black people try to get something going with other black people, a lot of the times the black people that you work with will try to take advantage of you. And what about that? So the poverty pimping starts at the bottom line where it affects the poverty most. It's a lot of times it's whenever someone feels like they can get over on someone, they do it.
But what's wrong with that? Now,
I think that's dangerous, right? While it's true, Will said, I think that's dangerous, right? Because you can say, yeah, a lot of times when you do business with black people take advantage of you. Yeah, and a lot of times they won't. Right, so like we want to talk about something that we want to talk about something that we want to talk about things that so then you're like I feel resistance over here. So you're saying that there are no examples of black businesses with integrity and camaraderie that work.
I'm coming in with a shout out to the Massachusetts Women of Color Coalition that just met just the other day, Saturday, right over here. There was hundreds of black women who came together in a very productive, very organized, very straightforward agenda on how to make inroads into trying to alleviate all the problems that exist out here. It was powerful to see them black.
What are women of color? Who are women of color?
They non-white. They're African American.
Any woman who is non-white.
Women,
Gotcha.
Asian women. They were all there.
Massachusetts women of color do what they're doing. That's not business. They're not. That's a social organization, maybe to empower women in business, but that's not an exchange.
Not business.
That's not exchange of commerce. There, Will's point was about business, commerce. When there's money coming in and exchange of commerce coming in, where black people are taking advantage of each other in that sector.
You know, after what I think anyway, after the drug dealers and everything, I think one of the biggest poverty pimps is here is teachers that I'm teaching to the kids in some of these public schools. They're just collecting a paycheck.
Schools, absolutely, certainly.
You know?
Educational system, yeah.
Yeah, that's their poverty
Educational
pimp,
system's
you know?
definitely a big
This whole
poverty.
vote no on two is poverty pimping. I'm saying it loud. This vote
Do you
no on two
understand?
is poverty pimping. I don't care how many of you white people that I love getting your feelings about this. Because when you hear black people telling you, yo, chill with this, we want private schools, you ain't listening.
I was thinking about that, having that conversation, but I couldn't have it with someone who understood that whole vote no on two conversation, because I'm pretty sure, like, that's why I came up with poverty pimping. I threw the whole public sector into that category.
I hope my CUC people was listening, because when we was established at CUC, they was always talking about checking white voices and white airtime, and when I told you, don't worry about that. When it's time to talk, I'ma talk, and I'm telling you right now, this argument for no on two is weak as hell, man. Weak as hell. You keep talking about this corporatization of it, like our public schools ain't already corporatized.
That's crazy.
Like knock it off.
You know what they usually do? They and you know what? Because I've had this debate a couple times with people. What they do is they blame the parents. They say it's the parents' fault. The way the schools are the way they are.
And then the parents say it's the teachers, and then the teachers say it's the kids, and then the kids really don't even have a say-so in the fact. But voting no on two, I don't know if you want to talk about that, but I'm just saying, if I'm a taxpayer in the community, and I guess you always hear best bang for my buck, but I want to pay somebody for a service that I know I'm getting. I don't want to pay taxes and have people allocate where my money should go, and knowing I'm not getting nothing for my money but a failed educational system, a justice system that has biases, and what is it, a healthcare system that at the end of the day really has a whole bunch of tiny fine line printing, and the healthcare system is really killing us, because at the end of the day, we can't even do research on holistic medicines like marijuana. We can't do stuff that originally we came from, as far as sitting in the Quonset huts and having the smoke cleanse our atmosphere and our space.
What the hell
How did we go from school back to marijuana?
No, I'm just saying. It's just, at the end of the day,
I agree with Mike on the schools, 100%.
It's
the white public
poverty
schools
pimping
are collecting
around
the black
the
public
map.
schools. They're trying to teach the kids in there their own understanding for our social interaction. They got a bunch of white teachers in there that think that, well, I'll teach the kids how to say yes ma'am, no ma'am, how to sit still in the chair, how not to act like this here. And in the public schools within the inner city, you got a multitude of cultures in there. Most of them come from third world countries, or they're African American from this country. They come from a different cultural thing. So when these white teachers are trying to teach these kids something that's totally foreign to them, and that's not working. But the money's going to go to the white school, because it looks as though it's working, because they're white teachers teaching white kids who understand that cultural norm and stuff. That's right. I'm for the charter schools, but the charter schools have to be set up so that they're teaching the kids that they're teaching, not teaching the kids that they're not teaching.
And that's one thing I hate is this
That's
image
what I'm
that they're
for.
pushing about charter schools is that they're this uninviting entity that no one can get a part of because they don't, whatever, where they get their funds from. That's besides the
Money all the
fact.
time.
So poverty pimping led me and Melissa into a conversation where we asked about opportunists. And she has a straight negative opportunist. How do you feel about opportunists?
That's a poverty.
Do you want me to? No, well, no, opportunist. I'm going to read the definition. By definition, is a person who exploits circumstances to gain immediate advantage rather than being guided by consistent principles or plans. So, opportunists, at the end of the day. What's wrong with opportunists?
Well, why not?
Flip the camera.
Your definition for me is a little bit really weak. An opportunist is somebody who's going to take advantage of the situation.
Yes.
He's going to seek out the best way that he can manipulate that situation in his benefit. I don't see anything wrong with that. But now, that's on the thing as the big picture. But if you're going to be an opportunist and then couple that with taking advantage of people who have no voice, or anything like that, then you become a poverty pimp, and I don't have any room for that.
It's the same thing.
No, he's saying, telling the truth, saying the opportunist doesn't have to be a bad thing, and that's kind of where I was.
It's not, though, but it's the same thing.
Well, based on that definition, it's a disgusting thing. Like if the definition involves exploit,
It's all
Like-
right,
like-
that's the word.
like that's like anything that says rape. Like he's like, what's wrong with rape? You know, like what's wrong with exploitation?
Crazy.
Like what's wrong with exploitation? Exploitation is not a good thing. Especially then it also says something about like lack of integrity or something like that in there. So those are not decent things. Like so, what
opportunities? No, I think that's
based on the definition?
Yeah, it's saying
What's good about that?
With the exploit, but then again, like I said, it went from poverty pimping to, like I said, I threw public sector all into poverty pimping to what's the root of pimping? What's the root of poverty? What's the root of poverty pimping? Which is someone who is an opportunist. And she didn't like opportunists because she felt that at the end of the day, people need to get their own and not jump on bandwagons or whatever the case they may be to take advantage of opportunities. But I'm thinking at the back of my mind, who isn't? Who isn't trying to come up? Who isn't trying to, do something for themselves and their family? So we're all poverty pimping at the core, and we're all opportunists. It shouldn't be. And now you're talking about degrees of opportunists.
I got news for black people and people of color, right? And poor people. The capitalism is inherently racist and inherently oppressive, right? Like you want to see, you want to reveal how racist capitalism is? Go into business. Think about what you need to go into business, and think about how you need to cater to your market, right? And then that'll show you where the racism is, right? So me and my brother were talking about consolidating some family resources and maybe going into business, buying some property. And imagine he said he wanted to go out and he wanted to target Section 8 folks. Right now, me being poor for most of my life, financially strapped, I've been around folks on Section 8, and I know what comes with that. What comes with poverty. So it's immediately you saying, well, in capitalism, me being an experienced business person, maybe not necessarily the financial data sheet to show it, but with my years of working for folks and selling drugs, you want to minimize your risk and maximize your profits, right? That's the basic principle, right?
But doing that,
so you don't want to rent to poor
something,
people.
though.
You have to exploit people, right?
Yes,
and you don't want to rent. You don't want to do business with certain people, right? Because they come with certain conditions and certain sets. And once you realize, damn, this whole system is set up on racism, right? It's set up for you not to do business with black folks, right? Because when you're black and you're poor, you come with certain things. Like it's actually. Do you know the amount of poor black folks going around with undiagnosed PTSD?
Oh, I'm pretty sure
it got to be like in a 90 percentile, right? It's traumatizing being black and American, right?
gotta deal with it
And so
as
you have all these different coping mechanisms and defense mechanisms that are not necessarily the best for a work environment or a business environment, right? And so when you see this, you have to make certain equitable accommodations and adjustments, and you see just exactly how racist capitalism is.
Yeah, and I second that though, but so then
I ain't seconding it.
Yeah, we all poverty pimp show, and that's the craziest thing. So
I ain't checking it at all.
I just wanted to bring everything into full circle that we all hypocritical. We're all
I ain't
walking contrarians because at the end of the day, we want to gain with some type of knowing that it's going to be a degrees on the severity of exploitation we're doing. You know what I mean? So you talk about our, you
ain't even let me talk.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Truth. Talk about it. Go ahead, Truth.
Please.
Yeah, injecting it. Go ahead, talk.
I have to disagree with Mike like that. Cause you know why? You already know. If you want to be successful in this world,
Bootstraps.
Exactly. You can call it bootstraps. You can be any of that stuff like that. But if you want to be successful, yeah, you can make all the faces and stuff like that, and then you can be unsuccessful. But if you want to be successful, you can arm yourself with knowledge. You can arm yourself with facts. You can arm yourself whatever it takes to be able to go out there and make that money that you want. Capitalism is a system. Capitalism, it definitely benefits the people that have the money because they're the ones that projecting all that risk that they took to get the money. You know, they just didn't fall out the tree and had the money handed to them. They took a risk. The originals. After that, some people inherited through their families and stuff like that, and then someplace else they took a risk. There ain't no free ride.
So you saying the original
There ain't
people
no
who worked
free,
hard.
wait a minute, don't try to take it out of context.
Yeah.
There's no free ride out there. If you want a free ride out there, then you're not going to be successful.
There's no free ride for black people, you mean?
There ain't no free ride. There's no real.
Yeah.
I'm saying
Please
there's
say
no
that. Please say
free
that.
ride. If you want a free ride, it's out there, but it goes this high. You people in the radio can't see that, but it's not very high. If you want to have something higher than what that free ride stuff, you got to go get it. It's not going to be given to you. That's what I'm saying.
Like,
it ain't black, it ain't white,
you've heard of trust fund babies?
What?
You've heard of trust fund babies and hedge fund babies?
What hedge fund?
People who pass down massive amounts of wealth to their children.
Yeah, okay.
So that's a free ride. That's a definition of a free ride.
But you're talking semantics here. You're taking it out of context.
I'm
and you're
certainly
putting it
not.
Like that.
Like,
if
the
your
Homestead Act.
Wait, if your folks had money, would you want them to give it to you or me?
Give it to me.
Well, there you go.
Did we say that? Did we? So you're conflating points. First off, right? So when you said you didn't co-sign my point about capitalism being inherently racist, then you went to you have to pick up yourself by your bootstraps, which I don't necessarily completely disagree because I think at the end of the day, the system is rigged against you. You have to figure a way out. But the first thing you have to do is stop lying and say it's not rigged. Right, so you have to say you have to acknowledge that it's rigged, and then you have to say, okay, it's rigged, and I'm still gonna beat it. Right? You still have to find a way to beat it. Right?
You don't have to say it's rigged.
No,
you gotta
you have
say
to.
I'm gonna beat it.
No, because you have to know your enemy before you defeat it.
Oh,
right? So then, secondly,
You
right?
already know your enemy.
So secondly, right? We don't if we're saying it's not rigged.
Yes.
Right? But
Your enemy's poverty. It ain't the system.
no, the system is what created the poverty.
Okay, then what you gonna? Yeah, okay, what you gonna do about it? That's the enemy.
Okay, so
That's what I'm saying.
All right, so then you didn't speak. You didn't speak to the market in the way that you engage the market. You just spoke about and that's the capitalism piece I'm talking about. You say that you made a good nest egg based off your cleaning business, and your wife is a world-renowned oncologist. How much business do you do with black folk?
Wait,
Next to none, because they don't have assets. You and your wife.
Look, when my cleaning business, I clean anybody's place that pay me the money.
And the people who paid you, were they black or white?
Yeah, whoever gave me that money.
The people who paid you, I'm talking about actual people.
When I was a personal trainer, them people who paid me, they were black.
I ain't talking about personal training. I'm talking about your cleaning service. You made your money off your cleaning service.
The people who had the money, who places I clean, I suppose they were all
There ain't
white.
nothing wrong with doing business with white people. I'm saying that because they got the money. You have to go where the money is. So you can't provide services in a capitalist society to people who don't have resources. That's all I was saying.
So
and you said you don't go
wait, then what is your answer to that? Should I just not open a business, or should I just give away all the cleaning equipment?
You have to hold your nose while you're doing the business. You have to say, "Dan, this sucks."
Be happy being a
So I gotta say, this isn't a good thing because I'm making money doing something.
No, you saying
nobody's saying
this is
nothing
why
wrong
I have
with
to do
that.
some
No.
good with this. I have to do
That's
some
all
good
I'm
with
saying.
this.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Here's the part you missed on my cleaning business. I had to get out there Saturdays and Sundays and Wednesdays and Thursday
you did.
nights to midnight to 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning doing that cleaning business, then get up to my regular job. You know, I had to put all that energy in. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not
You ain't
denying
got that energy
That's
in
necessary
that
for
part.
success. That's
You know,
a different
That's
conversation.
the part I'm talking about. I ain't talking about who give me the money. I don't care who give me the money when I'm out there. My services is the services that they're paying for. I ain't paying for to clean their place. They're paying for me to clean their place. And that's how that works.
Yeah, and I get that. Good, great. I guess pat on the back for improving the services that your business provided. But I still think I want to bring this back to who at the end of the day is going to pay that. Who can pay, or
Who cares?
who you even soliciting, who you're soliciting to watch windows, because I already know there isn't that many black-owned businesses, at least in this area. So at the end of the day, the reality is, like I said, we're all opportunists. We're all opportunists,
No.
and at the end of the day, we're
Right.
all.
We're all
Wait a minute,
opportunists.
yeah,
We're all opportunists.
We're opportunists. What are you talking
But
about?
there's a difference between an opportunist and a poverty pimp. The way you're presenting it like if you're an opportunist, then you're a poverty pimp. That's not the case.
No.
So the difference between an opportunist.
I think so.
No. So the difference between an opportunist and a poverty pimp is I say, okay, I want to do the
I
5
don't
o'clock
think we need
show.
to know differences of
You apparently you do because
Why?
you think a poverty pimp and an opportunist is the same thing.
and nothing you can say going to change my
But let
thinking.
me-
So that's what I'm saying.
So
My whole thing is.
So what's the point of having a radio discussion?
As soon as somebody
if-
says
if-
that, you can say change your mind, and the conversation's over.
Exactly.
Like, so then what's the point of having a conversation? then?
No, I'm saying we can have the
What's the point
conversation.
of having a radio show? Because unless
It ain't about having a radio show. It's about the topic. The topic was poverty
I just
pimping,
said
and I was
so.
like,
Hey, let's talk.
so good. But now you're trying to.
I don't-
It's like
I
you're
don't
trying to
know what you're
persuade
saying.
me into
Don't
Don't say it
differences.
before him. They accept it. Say
Yes, like
you
what are you
offer.
talking about? Like,
I didn't say anybody had to accept anything.
all right, come
Oh,
on.
all right,
So
well,
yeah,
you said-
and now the next thing is.
I said the difference is, and he said you don't have to.
Well, other
say
people
the
wanted to hear what the difference is, except for the outside.
Yeah, those
Right,
Yes, exactly.
right. That's I was trying to explain it. Okay, so anyway, wow. So I don't know what just happened. I do the 5 o'clock shadow, and I say, okay, I want to cater to a certain audience. The people who I know are going to tune in. It costs nothing to tune in, but I still have to get people to tune in. So I say, what kind of show do I want? Do I want to make a show where I'm like, yo, it's popping, it's your boy Truth, and we in the mean streets, F this dude, F that dude, or do I want to make it, or do I want to make the show? Well, how you guys doing? This is Truth of the 5 o'clock shadow, and it's sunny and 75 degrees out there. Or I have to cater to a certain audience. So now catering to a certain audience, people on my show, who am I going to have on my show? Am I have someone like Mike? Who looks like who looks a certain way, or am I going to have someone like Rich, who's white and he wears cowboy hats and stuff like that?
I wear a cowboy hat.
Right. So I have to make that. So I have to take those things, and none of